It's interleague baseball from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Today it's game 2 of this 3-game weekend series between the first-place Cleveland Indians of the AL Central and the Houston Astros. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Day Baseball on a Saturday. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. Dallas Keuchel pitching for Houston. Jenmar Gomez for Cleveland. And we get to see some of the top up-the-middle players today, J.D.
Indeed we do. Both these clubs really struggling in terms of production from the outfield, so they lean heavily on their infielders, and in particular middle infielders. That has been the case for the Astros all year long with Altuve and Jed Lowry providing a lot of the offense. Lowry leads all the shortstops with his 13 home runs. Both of them very dependable defensively. And the Indians, they have a very good tandem as well as Drupal Cabrera. Here he is hitting a game winner off Chapman of Cincinnati. He's a sparkling defensive player. Kipnis has made the transition from the outfield to second base. He's hit 11 bombs. He's only made 3 errors. So in this series, we're featuring 2 of the best keystone combinations in all of baseball.
Coming up from Minute Maid Park, it is game 2 of this series to see if the Astros can get the bats going. They've been blanked twice in their last 3 games. The Tribe hoping to continue its push. We'll find out who wins today, starting in just a moment.
Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. It's a mid-afternoon Saturday game. The Cleveland Indians and the Houston Astros, game 2 of the 3-game set here at Minute Maid Park. The Astros are waiting to take the field as the umpire meeting at home plate continues as they try to get a victory in the second game of this series before wrapping up interleague play with the game tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow's game will be at 1:05. Guys who are calling all the action are standing by in the booth waiting for Dallas Keuchel, number 60, and his teammates to take the field. So let's go upstairs to Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thanks, Greg, and it'll be the first home start for Dallas Keuchel from the University of Arkansas. Very exciting time for him. He said he really was not as nervous for his Major League debut at Texas on Sunday as he had been for his previous 2 AAA starts for Oklahoma City. And he certainly appeared composed and pitched very well that day, J.D.
Hey, he did. He worked 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, just 1 run. He walked 4, but he was able to pitch around that traffic and surrender just that 1 run. And even when he was in a couple of critical situations with bases loaded, you never got that sense of deer in the headlights of a young guy who might have been out of sorts a little bit. He looked very comfortable. I mean, he's so comfortable here, he's not even taking the field. He's just hanging out. Umpires are standing there looking at you, guy, you ready? And he's like, hey, this game doesn't start till I throw that first pitch. It's on me.
Well, it doesn't start until we wish happy birthday to my partner, Jim Deshaies. He's 52 years old today. Happy birthday, JD.
Thank you, Brownie. Thank you very much.
See if we can get a special day for you.
We'll take a 3-2 win in 2 hours and 27 minutes.
LaDainian Tomlinson has a birthday today. Mike James. Bert Convey. Jim Carter Cash. Okay, who's the middle guy?
Zinedine Zidane. I think he's the soccer player.
Okay, yeah.
That was a headbutted the guy there controversially a few years ago. Bert Convey, of course, the star of the great television show Tattletales.
Yeah. One of our all-time favorites. Here's the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians. It's brought to you by Hyundai. Shin-Soo Choo, the leadoff man in right field, has Drupal Cabrera at shortstop, Jason Kipnis at second base, Jose Lopez playing first base today. It's Michael Brantley in center field, Carlos Santana the catcher, Johnny Damon in left field, Jack Hanahan at third base, and Jenmar Gomez on the mound.
Well, Dallas Keuchel, no wins, no losses at the big leagues. He was 5-4 AAA this year, 7th round pick of the Astros out of the University of Arkansas in 2009, where he had an outstanding collegiate career. In his minor league career, 24-29 with a 385, an outstanding strikeout to walk numbers. This year at AAA, he walked 15 while striking out 46 in 80 innings. Defensively, typically it'd be a lot of ground balls for Keuchel, but the outfield comes into play, obviously, with Martinez, Schaefer, Bogasevic, Johnson, Lowry, Altuve, Lee on the infield, and Jason Castro behind the plate. It's going to be an interesting matchup because of all the left-handed bats that the Indians run up there, even against the left-handed pitcher. They've got 5 left-handed bats in their lineup here today. And the Indians tied with the Chicago Cubs with a .218 team batting average against left-handed pitching, tied for dead last in the major leagues.
And their record against left-handers is 5-13. Shin-Soo Choo, a .276 hitter with 6 homers, 24 runs batted in, has 26 hits this month. Third most in the American League. He's been promoted to leadoff this month, and so that gives him more opportunities. But he's cashing in, and he has that good on-base average. He brings a 5-game hitting streak into this game after going 1 for 4 last night. Third baseman Chris Johnson in tight. And there is strike one. Manny Gonzalez is calling the balls and strikes for Dallas Keuchel and all the pitchers today. That's hit in the air to left field, and backing up, J.D. Martinez for the line drive for out number 1. J.D. was not in the original starting lineup. Justin Maxwell was. Maxwell had to be scratched with that left ankle, troublesome with the bone chip. And now as Drupal Cabrera bats. As J.D. mentioned earlier, just a phenomenal player defensively. And also with that .301 average, 8 homers, 32 runs batted in. A very good offensive season for Cabrera as the 5th best on base average in the American League of .387. He has that advantage of being a switch hitter. And taps this one to third. Chris Johnson out of the glove, throwing in time. He had that time to use the glove hand. 2 outs.
Especially against the right-handed hitters, Keuchel will get a lot of ground balls with that sinker changeup combination. He'll work off that outside edge, and here he gets Cabrera to roll over on one. CJ was shortened up to begin with and came in and made a nice play.
2 outs for Keuchel, and Jason Kipnis is up next. .273, 11 homers. He's driven in 41. That is strike one for Dallas Keuchel. Dallas's father came down to witness his first major league start in Arlington, and that was a real thrill for him on Father's Day. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He's added a cut fastball since he came from the University of Arkansas to the Astros organization. Kipnis, .328 on the road with 7 bombs. Keuchel is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Bishop Kelly High School, where he performed for 2 5A state championship teams. Dallas, 23 years old. The Astros drafted him in the 7th round in '09. That's foul back. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The Indians are 7th, about halfway down the ladder in the American League in runs scored. And they are 8-8 in interleague play this year. They're 4-2 on this last homestand and just starting a 10-game road trip last night with a win for Manny Acta. And that breaking pitch is looped. A line drive single to center field with 2 strikes and 2 outs, putting Kipnis on for Lopez now.
Dallas comes with a softer breaking ball, stays up a little bit, and Kipnis puts a good swing on it.
Jose Lopez is next. Lopez is hitting .286 against lefty pitching, 10 for 35, .238 overall, 3 homers. He's driven in 20. Hasn't done much recently, 2 for his last 20. He came into play late in the game last night. He was on the opening day roster and was designated for assignment. When the Indians signed Johnny Damon.
Already to AAA, and then his contract purchased again by the Indians on May 12th. A veteran. Some very productive years with the Mariners.
In the dirt, that pops away from Castro, and here's the advance to second by Kipnis. He was ready to move. Fleet-footed second sacker with 17 steals, and saw that ball in the dirt, moved over. It's a wild pitch.
And Jason tries to glove this ball, and in so doing it kicks away from him, and that allows Kipnis to advance. Had he just squared up behind it, used his chest protector, he probably controls it a little better, and Kipnis probably still at first base.
Now Keuchel misses, and the count runs to 3 balls, no strikes. Dallas is the type of pitcher, doesn't throw exceptionally hard, so usually he needs to be fine with his control to be effective.
Talk about the 3 components of a good major league fastball. You're looking for velocity, movement, and command. If you have 2 of the 3, you got a pretty good chance. So for him, he doesn't throw hard, so throw velocity out the window, but pretty good movement on his sinker and excellent fastball command throughout his minor league career. So if he has both of those working, he can compete. Just like that. Jamie Moyer lived out there 77 miles an hour. That one was at 89. That's plenty right there. You got that kind of command and that little sink. Especially if they're going to call it.
Yeah, that can be awfully big for a guy who can hit his spots. Little tap goes out to Altuve at second. On over to lead. No runs a hit and a man stranded. Dallas Keuchel has his first 0 at Minute Maid Park. Starting lineup for Brad Mills, and it's brought to you by Hyundai. It's Jose Altuve, second base. Jed Lowry, shortstop. Batting second today. Carlos Lee is hitting third at first base. In a little bit of a shakeup, Brian Bogusevic, the cleanup man in right field. Chris Johnson at third base. Jason Castro, the catcher. That's the first time he's batted as high as sixth. J.D. Martinez in left field. Jordan Schaefer, the center fielder. Dallas Keuchel, the pitcher.
Right-hander Jean-Marc Gomez on the mound for the Indians here this afternoon. Non-drafted free agent out of Venezuela in 2004. He's 24 years of age. Solid minor league credentials. This is his third go-around in the big leagues. He's 13-14. And defensively, Damon Brantley and Chu in the outfield. Hanahan, Cabrera on the left side. Kipnis Lopez on the right side. Carlos Santana behind the dish.
Gomez has been struggling recently. He is 24 years old from Caracas, Venezuela. Altuve leading it off. And there is strike one. Altuve has 86 hits. That's tied for sixth best in the National League. With a 3.08 average, he leads all second basemen. And those 86 hits also rank him atop all Major League second basemen. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Altuve, who was 0 for 4 in last night's game.
Everybody was 0 for 4 in last night's game.
That's true.
Just about.
Astros managed only 4 hits, but so did the Indians. That gives you a lot of 0 for 4.
Ooh,
that's serious.
That's a power sinkage there from Gomez. His game's similar to Keuchel, only he's right-handed. You look at his last 3 outings. He allowed 8 runs, 4 earned Sunday against the Pirates. Pretty good effort against Cincinnati, and struggled in the previous start at Detroit.
Lowry on deck.
It's a 1-2, 6.91 ERA through 3 June starts for Gomez. It's fastball, slider. He'll cut his fastball on occasion, curveball on a change.
That's strike 3 call. Altuve caught looking. And Gomez opens with a K.
He doesn't get many of those. He's a pitch to contact type guy, but he threaded that one over the outside edge just above the knees. Just his 33rd strikeout. He's working in his 68th inning.
Jed Lowry, who leads all Major League homers in shortstops rather in homers and slugging percentage, has 13 homers. And there is ball 1. Lowry 1 for his last 15 now. 265 is current average.
Astros didn't hit many balls hard last night, and the ones they did tended to go foul, including when Lowry had a blast to right field but yanked it foul.
1-1 to Jed with Carlos Lee on deck. It appears that Brad Mills has been looking at the stat sheet and stacking his lineup with the top on base average guys at the top of the order. It's 2-1. Just trying to get something going here, whether that was his motivation or not. It makes some sound sense. It's just a matter of getting some traffic, and the Astros haven't been able to do a whole lot of that. They've been striking out a ton. That's out toward right center field. On the run, it's Chu. 2 down. They've scored 1 run in their last 3 games. It's Carlos Lee batting third. That's not the norm for the Astros, but players are willing to give it a shot. Shuffle up the lineup, draw it out of a hat, whatever, when things aren't going well. 295.
I think the other thing Brad's trying to do is try to alternate his right and left-handed bats. Perhaps create a little bit of an issue for Maniac in a late game situation as to how he uses his bullpen.
That's a good point. Strike to Carlos Lee. Now Caballo with 4 homers has driven in 25. He just came back from the DL last Sunday. He's gone 5 for 18 since he came back. Looked like a cutter there. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Gomez was the 5th starter for Manny Acta to open the season. In the air, and the second sacker, Kipnis, goes back for it to make it a 1-2-3 first, and no score.
Move to the second here at Minute Maid Park. Every Sunday home game with the Astros is a family Sunday presented by Minute Maid and Kroger. The next family Sunday is tomorrow when the Astros host the Indians at 1:05. Fans can enjoy Kids Fun Zone before the game and Kids Run the Bases after the game. Tickets, of course, at Astros.com. Brownie, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. We look to inning number 2 now for Dallas Keuchel in a scoreless affair. Kipnis had a one-out single off him and then advanced to second on a wild pitch in the first. Michael Brantley is the leadoff man for the second. 283, 1 homer, 33 driven in for Brantley. He's on a 5-game hitting streak now. Keuchel throws a pretty good looking pitch. Ball 1. Brantley had a hit, drove in a run, drew a walk last night. Bouncer off the glove of Keuchel. That slows it down. Barehanded. Altuve does not get him.
Good effort, but not with Brantley going down the line. And Brantley, one of the left-handed hitters that has done quite well against left-handed pitching, hitting .293 against them, and gets himself a knock here. Just beats it into the ground just off the tip of the glove, and after that it was pretty much all she wrote.
He's aboard for Carlos Santana. Brantley with 9 steals in 14 tries. Santana, the switch hitting catcher, begins the day at 2:30 after going 0 for 2 with a pair of walks last night. That's strike 1 for Keuchel. And Santana last year had a big year with 27 homers, 79 runs batted in. His last 9 games, he's hit in 7 of those, but not really torrid. He hasn't really hit that well since he returned from the concussion disabled list. Whoa, a little floater over there. Carlos wasn't near the bag. Looked like Keuchel looked up and saw Carlos wasn't where he thought, and then just took a little something off the throw, maybe.
Well, Carlos has not seen a lot of Keuchel, and watch, Carlos assumes he's going home and starts to shift out to handle his position.
He picked off Carlos.
Yeah, picked off the first baseman. He didn't get the runner, but he got the first sacker.
Time is called.
Carlos is checking with him now. What do you think about that move? If you get a good read on him, let me know. I don't want to get embarrassed here.
Brantley takes his lead. Indians are 3rd in stolen bases in the American League.
Now
seats. No balls, 2 strikes. I think that's kind of that slow leg kick and delivery, and so Carlos is going to need to read him a little bit.
Well, that's the advantage of being a lefty. You're looking right at the first baseman, so you can make the adjustment if he moves. you can find him.
That's big trouble for a right-hander after he wheels and throws his arm back. That could have been a balk for some pitchers, I think, maybe, JD.
Yeah, you kind of lock them up.
This one now almost gave the runner a chance to advance, but Brantley took a couple steps and then decided not to, and it's 1-2. Astros scrambling after it.
On that time, Jason got the mid out of the way and just used his chest protector. Did a better job of controlling it, keeping it in front.
Johnny Damon's on deck. The Indians have a 1.5 game lead in the AL Central. They won 4 in a row.
It's a pitcher you certainly want to be aware of guys who are capable of stealing bases and give your catcher a fighting chance to throw them out. But you got to be careful, especially early in the game, to not get too consumed with trying to shut down the running game at the risk of getting out of your rhythm. Priority number 1 this stage of the game is just get outs. Make sure you continue to attack the hitters. Don't get too defensive with that base runner.
Lowry tossing to Altuve. On to Lee for a double play.
This ball actually up, but he still gets Santana to hit it onto the ground, and it turns into a nice, easy 6-4-3 double play. And Brantley's inability to read Keuchel's move tightens him up a little bit there at first base, too, and he never really was able to interfere with the turn by Altuve.
Johnny Damon was 1 for 3 last night. Strike one to Damon. 206 for Damon. 3 homers, 13 batted in. Since joining the club in early May, signed a 1-year deal for just over $1 million. This fly ball pushes back J.D. Martinez toward the corner. And it's no runs, 1 hit. Nobody left for the Tribe. No score. Later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Very stylish look on a Saturday afternoon. And a big concert coming up after the game today, Faith and Family Day. And, of course, the first pitch was thrown out by Senior Pastor Joel Osteen of Lakewood Church. They're here to cheer on the Astros. They'll probably stick around for the concert after this game today by Christian rock band Third Day. Immediately following the game, they're a Grammy Award-winning Christian rock band. 0-0. Here's Brian Bogusevic looking at ball one. 231 for Brian. 5 homers, 18 runs batted in. He hit a double to left center in last night's game, going 1 for 4. Really clocked the ball. But each club had only 1 extra base hit last night.
Yeah, it was probably the hardest hit ball by the Astros in the game last night. Gomez is showing a good sinker. He just threw a very good changeup.
Bogusevic out to left center field. Johnny Damon. 1 out for Gomez. And Chris Johnson will follow. Nice sized crowd here on this Saturday afternoon. The series finale will start earlier tomorrow at 1:05. That'll be Jay Happ, who's 5-7, and Derek Lowe, who's 7-5 tomorrow. 12:30 for Astros Live. Chris Johnson, a .273 hitter with 5 homers, has 27 batted in. He had 2 hits last night. And strike 1 to CJ. 3-game hitting streak now. 5 for 12 in his last 3. The Astros 1-3 on this homestand. Gomez missing there, goes to a 1-1 count. And they are 4-9 in interleague play. Travis Johnson trying to get something started with Castro behind him. One ball, 2 strikes.
Astros just in one of those funks right now where they'll go for a period of days and swing the bats pretty well, but they won't pitch well at all, and then they'll start to pitch and won't score. That's kind of where they've been for the last week. Pitching's been quite good. Offense has been dead.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The last 5 games, Astros starting pitchers have given up 8 earned runs in 32 innings for a 2.25 ERA. But the Astros have dropped 19 of 25 now. That's strike 3. Second strikeout for Gomez. They've both been called.
Well, home plate umpire has given a little bit off the edges for both pitchers. This one catches the outside corner, so the hitters are going to have to make an adjustment, or they're going to be walking back to that dugout shaking their heads all afternoon long. I understand, being discerning and you don't want to go out of the zone. But when you get 2 strikes, if the umpire is calling those edges, you might as well take a whack at it. Especially if it's up a little bit. If it's down and you can't do anything with it, then so be it. But if it's up a little bit, try to poke it the other way.
246 for Jason Castro. Shoots a ground ball. Backhanded. Cabrera. Good play. And 6 up, 6 down for Gomez. No score.
Time for our progressive fan of the game. Today it's fans of the game. A brother-sister combination in from New Mexico, Drew and Shannon Krause. Why? You guys live in New Mexico. So why are you Astros fans?
Well, actually, when our parents got married, they came to a couple Astros games on their honeymoon. They saw Jose Cruz hit a home run.
And there you go. The rest is history. So you guys came in just for a couple of games?
Yeah, basically, we actually came in yesterday for the Biggio bobblehead. That was the main thing.
That's a good reason to come. Did you get one? Yeah, you come all that way. You make sure you get here early, right? So how do you guys follow the Astros out in New Mexico?
Well, we have MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
There you go.
Yeah. We get to watch almost every game.
Outstanding. So who's your favorite players?
Jose Altuve.
Yeah, absolutely. Altuve.
Yeah, we're starting to get a lot of that recently. Well, for coming in all the way from New Mexico just to get that bobblehead, we're going to let you leave with more. You get the progressive bag of stuff for being our fans of the game. Drew and Shannon Krause from New Mexico. Brownie, back up to you.
Thank you, Bart. Parting gifts from Bart on Bert Convey's birthday.
Better than the bag of broken glass.
Yes, it is. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jack Hanahan. Opening the 3rd inning of a scoreless game. 195 against lefties for Hanahan. Pitcher Gomez is on deck. Keuchel throws one close. 2 balls and a strike. You know, it is a pretty generous strike zone, it appears, but Keuchel's thrown a couple of close pitches that haven't been called. Justin Maxwell is going to give his testimony at Faith and Family Night after the game today before the concert. 3 balls and a strike. He was in the starting lineup, but that bone chip in his left ankle must have caused him to be scratched, because then he was taken down and J.D. Martinez took his place in left field. And that could become an issue. It already has become an issue. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's just going to try to grit his teeth and play through it for a while, see how that goes. But you know, a lot of guys do that. They'll try to somehow get through a season and postpone any kind of surgical procedure until after the season is over.
Yeah, it just depends on how much it affects his ability to go out there and play on a semi-regular basis.
Leadoff walk, and that will give Gomez a chance to sacrifice Bud Hanahan. Gomez has a hit and 2 at-bats, does not have a sacrifice bunt. In fact, no sacrifice bunts in his entire career, which isn't very long.
Okay. How many plate appearances?
A couple. Chris Johnson's in on the grass. Now he's in breathing fire on Gomez, and there's ball 1. He's right on top of him there. Gomez getting a chance to join this rotation, which has changed without the artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona, now called Roberto Hernandez. And he's now 31 and not 28 as he had been listed. So he's not on the club right now. He jabs at that one. That is not good bunting form.
Not good form, and that'll allow Chris Johnson and Carlos Lee to be even more aggressive. You see an effort like that, you say, well, this guy doesn't look like he handles the bat very well at all. He set it out there nicely to begin with, and then he pulls it back and jabbed at it.
And that is a duplication of the earlier attempt. Pretty weak. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This guy needs some schooling, JD.
Yeah. There's a whole lot going wrong right there. Just too much movement with the bat. Set the bat at the top of the zone, set your angle, and just try to catch the ball and use your legs to get flexible with the knees and just kind of move up and down.
Ooh, that's a strikeout. Well, he won't be working on it for the rest of the year because this will be his final time to bat. If you were to give a clinic in bunting, that would be a precursor of how not to bunt.
Yeah, that would be the old. That would be a don't. That would be the don't video. The before, not the after.
Exactly. Shin-Soo Choo hit a fly ball to left field, leading off the game. He caught that deep fly ball hit last night by, well, there was one hit by Lowry, but the other one was by Schaefer. Schaefer's ball almost made it out. There is strike 1.
Yeah, I thought Schaefer got enough of his. I thought he was going to hit his into the seats.
Sure looks like it.
Came up a little bit short. He's got a lot of supporters here today.
It does.
Did I say Shu?
You did.
Chu.
That's
Shin,
okay.
Shin Chu Shu.
Yeah, that's a tough name.
Yeah.
We'll be kind of glad when they leave town. Shu has been hit by 6 pitches already. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. And since he was promoted to leadoff, he's done a nice job for them. And again, Manny Acta doesn't have a lot of power. He has 59 home runs in this lineup. That's 12th in the American League. So the Indians try to peck away, steal some bases, manufacture a few runs here and there. Ouch.
Which is right. Chu had the key hit in the game last night, the leadoff triple to start the ball game, and he leads the American League in doubles. This time he whacks one Off the inside of his right foot.
And he crumpled on that one. He got 22 doubles to lead the league. And last night he got his first triple. The Astros actually have one home run more than the Indians this year. Lowry and Altuve are set up to turn a couple here. In the dirt, and that's now Castro scrambling after it. He throws behind the runner. And Hanahan got back. Castro blocked it well. Hanahan's a little too far off, and then Castro scrambled for it. Thought he might pick him off, trying to go back.
Check this out. Jumps up and catches him on the mask. Initially lost sight of it, and fortunately kicked out from underneath of him. And Hanahan scrambles back to the base. Hanahan not a base stealer. He's 0 for 1 in stolen bases.
Little tap goes foul. St. Louis leads at Kansas City 7-2 after 7. Alan Craig hit his 9th home run. Felipe Paulino is going down with Tommy John surgery. Now, when he was able to pitch for Kansas City this year, he pitched really well. Mendoza started today for the Royals. Wainwright is in there for the Cardinals. Cardinals are currently 3 games out. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Let's see what Hanahan might be doing at first base.
Well, let's see here. Chu struck out 61 times.
He won't be going.
You got a ground ball pitcher. You've already bounced into 1 double play.
That is strike 3. Well, these called third strikes are mounting, so the hitters have received warning from Manny Gonzalez. Second strikeout.
See number 7 there. This little cut fastball appeared to get plenty of the plate. She was probably guessing breaking ball.
He's retired for out number 2. Now it's Cabrera, as Dribble grounded out in the first inning. He's 26 years old. The Indians signed him to a 2-year extension earlier this year through 2014. Throw to second, and Hanahan is out. Well, JD said he wasn't a base stealer. He's 0 for 2 now. Castro guns him down. And there's a look at the tag at second by Altuve.
Making cancer history. It was in 1986 that Glenn Davis, the hero, hitting a 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth. Astros won it 7-6. But Larry Anderson pulls off a genius play in the top of the inning. He threw a wild pitch, tagged out the runner at the plate, never had to throw a pitch to a batter, got the victory. Genius. That was this moment in Astros history.
Only Andy could pull that off. Probably an intentional walk.
Astros fans looking on as we go to the bottom of the third inning. There is no score. The Astros are hoping for their first base runner. J.D. Martinez leads it off. He's hitting .230 with 7 homers. He's driven in 37 runs. And taking ball 1 there. Schaefer and Keuchel to follow in the Houston third against Gomez. J.D. 0 for 3 in last night's game. That's in for a strike, and that makes it 1-1. Allison Footer wrote her farewell column today at Astros.com. She's leaving the job in a week to go to MLB.com. We wish her well. 2 balls and a strike. It's a good column.
First gig will be to cover the All-Star game.
Nice assignment. She'll be traveling from Houston to various major league cities. Cover all the teams. J.D. takes, and there's another ball to make it 3-1. She leaves her thoughts behind, and it's good reading at Astros.com. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to J.D. Martinez. She's had 3 jobs in the last 16 years. She worked for the Astros, then with MLB.com, and back to the Astros. Now back to MLB.com.
Oh, yo-yoing between the two.
Yeah. High chop. Gomez back.
Fancy.
Yes.
Not much of a bunter, but he made a pretty nice play.
He really did.
7 up, 7 down to start the game for the Astros. Is high chopper, and Gomez has to go downhill off the mound to handle it, and then running in one direction, flips back the other way.
Jordan Schaefer's next. Schaefer at .236 with 2 homers, has driven in 16. Last night he was 0 for 3 with a walk, stole a base. Batting in the number 8 spot with Keuchel to follow. Oh, it's a different look at this lineup. There's strike 1. Schaefer rounds to second. Kipnis over to first, and he's over for his last 14 now without number 2. Bart?
Well, Bill, the Guys Night Out package presented by Kielbasa and Budweiser is available Thursday home games, including this Thursday against the Padres. Purchase a loaded ticket that includes a Field Box 2-seat, Astros cap, sausage dog, and value draft beer or soda, all for just $30. Root now and get those tickets at Astros.com/Guys Night. Back to you, Brownie.
Thanks, Bart. Now it's Dallas Keuchel. First major league plate appearance. There's ball 1. In the air, and that drifts over toward the seats and out of play. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 109 players have homered in their first career at bat. The Astros had a pitcher who did that, Jose Sosa.
2 or 3 other guys, David Matranga, Mark Sacamano.
Oh, yeah.
Charlton Jimerson did it as well.
You're right. Chopper wide of third.
It's interesting. Well, none of those guys really went on to have much success in the big leagues. They peaked too early.
Maybe he should get a triple then.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want to hit a home run your first major league at bat.
Will Clark did it off Mike Scott, right? Or Nolan Ryan. Yeah, that was on opening day.
He managed to go on and have a pretty good career despite that.
Yes, he did well. That's strike 3, and perfect through 3 innings. Gomez gets his 3rd strikeout. No score. And it's time now to step aside for just a quick moment for our AT&T trivia question. And it is, who are the 4 former major leaguers who appeared in the movie Major League? Oh, boy.
Bob Uecker.
Okay.
He played Harry Doyle.
Forgot about him.
Broadcaster. Just a bit outside.
He was great.
And Pete Vukovich. He played the slugger for the Yankees.
Luke was in, okay.
He might be out of bullets.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Good movie, though. There was a Major League 2 also, right? Just 2 versions of it?
I'm not sure. I just remember the first one.
Okay.
I don't think the second one was very good. And I thought you told us a year or 2 ago that they were making a 3rd one.
Well, he did. Must not have done well. Never got released, huh? Now it's Cabrera leading it off in the 4th inning. He grounded out. And he takes ball 1. Now Jamie Moyer has been released by the Orioles. In the air to left center field. Martinez going back. High shot to left center field. And that gives the Indians a 1-0 lead as Cabrera hits number 9. 33 runs batted in for Cabrera.
Trying to go down and away with that sinker, and the ball rides in a little bit and stays up for Cabrera. This is the whole deal, boy. He can really play.
Now a ground ball to shortstop by Kipnis. He slipped coming out of the box. 1 out. And it's Jose Lopez next against Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel in April for Oklahoma City was 4-1 with a 1.62 ERA. In May he went 1-3 with a 6.62. Bud Norris will be starting for Oklahoma City tonight. There's strike 1 to Lopez, who grounded out earlier. Norris hopefully will only need the 1 rehab start tonight before returning to the Astros rotation. They're playing at home in Oklahoma City against Omaha. And Norris out with the left knee sprain. Fernando Martinez has had 2 rehab games for Oklahoma City. 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. Bouncer by Keuchel's glove over to Lowry. 2 outs. AT&T trivia about the 4 former major leaguers who were in the movie Major League. Steve Yeager was in it. Pete Vukovich, Bob Uecker, and Willie Mueller. Okay, don't know Willie.
Don't know Willie either.
Nope. Never heard of him. 2 down, and it's Brantley now. Brantley got an infield hit off Keuchel's glove that trickled out to Altuve. Travis Buck has had 4 starts in the minor leagues, working his way back from tendonitis in his Achilles. And he'll need some more time. He's been on the DL this entire month of June. Brantley taking ball 1. Red Wallace had 2 homers and drove in 3 last night. Oklahoma City won 10-7. Broken bat. It rolls out to Altuve's right. He takes care of the 3rd out. Cabrera's leadoff homer here in the 4th gives the Tribe a 1-0 lead.
Try Jack in the Box. Right now you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo. Buy the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Mattress Firm. Save money. Sleep happy. The Astros will be happy if the offense wakens. Right now they're down by 1. Let's go upstairs to Bill Brown and Jim DeShea.
Tough sledding for that offense with 1 run the last 3 games and now no base runners through 3 innings. Matt Cain, of course, pitched the perfect game against them in San Francisco not long ago. Altuve led off the game by taking strike 3 for the Astros in the first. And there's strike 1 for Gomez. Gomez has had 3 strikeouts. They've all been called. Third baseman Hanahan in tight. Ground ball goes right to him. 1 out for Gomez. And so far, this struggling pitcher finding a lot of success in the early going against the Astros. He'll be facing Jed Lowry, who hit a fly ball to right. Gomez is 1-2 with a 6.91 ERA in the month of June. And even his win, not very pretty. 5 innings, 6 earned runs at Detroit. Lowry hits it in the air, and Hanahan comes over to foul territory. 2 outs for Gomez. Carlos Lee following.
This is indicative of a team that's really struggling. I mean, they get pitches to hit and they don't put a good swing on it, or they get rung up on a borderline pitch. Not really hit the ball hard at all yet this afternoon, and Gomez has recorded 11 outs while making just 36 pitches.
Lee takes it. It's strike 1 to Carlos. He popped a second earlier. He's set up to go deep into this game at that pace. It's 0-2 to Lee. Toronto beat Miami in Miami 7-1. Darren Oliver got that win over Steve Cishek with a 6-run 9th inning for the Blue Jays. 1-2.
Pitching is banged up, but they've been scoring a ton of runs.
Edwin Encarnacion hit his 21st homer. Colby Rasmus number 13. They've been 2 of the hottest guys. Rasmus's homer was a grand slam off Edward Mujica. Marlins are really headed downward. They're 33 and 38 right now. Their owner Jeffrey Loria gave them a pep talk the other day. That has had absolutely no bearing on their play whatsoever.
Talk.
2-2.
I built you this brand new stadium.
Popped up. Santana goes for it, and Santana cradles it as he brushes against Lopez. That is 12 in a row sit down by Gomez. 1-0 Indians.
Mazdas, what do you drive? Well, tomorrow, Game 3, the finale of the series with the Indians, and Jay Happ takes the mound against Derek Lowe. Happ is looking for his 6th win of the season. He earned his last win against Kansas City in his last start, a 9-7 victory on Monday. And he looked pretty good. Only 2 runs on 4 hits in 6 innings for his 9th quality start of the season. Hopefully he can get a little run support. In 7 of his last 9 starts, the Astros have scored 2 runs or less. This has been your Mazda Game Break. Now let's head back to Bill Brown and Jim DeShays, guys.
Shays ready for that 105 start tomorrow. And hoping the runs are flowing a little bit better than they have been from the Astros hitters. Nothing doing so far for Astros hitters in the first 4. They trail 1-0. Here's Santana, who bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the second. Keuchel delivers ball 1. That catches the edge, and it's a 1-1 count with Damon on deck and Hanahan to follow. Indians 17-14 away from home. It's 1-2.
Change up here from Keuchel. And a dandy.
It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The Indians are undefeated on the road when they lead after the 6th inning. They've equaled their season high winning streak of 4. Off the plate, that makes it 3-2 to Santana.
And Dallas's other major league start in Arlington. He pitched 5 scoreless innings and then allowed a leadoff single in the 6th. Was pulled. That runner came around to score. The Rangers had a big 7-run 6th inning to take over that ball game. Very similar in that he got no run support in that game either. The Astros had scored just 1 run through 5. Here's a good curveball, spike curveball, getting the swing and miss.
Strikeout number 3 for Dallas Keuchel. Now with 1 out, it's Johnny Damon facing him. Damon hit a fly ball to left earlier. Damon's around 2,800 hits for his career now. Played for 4 teams in the last 4 years. Foul back, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Johnny came up with Kansas City. Now 37 years old. Played for Oakland, Boston, the Yankees. Native of Fort Riley, Kansas. Played for Detroit as well. Had a very good career. 2 balls and a strike.
See where he ranks among active players. 4th in hits, 4th in doubles, 5th in games played.
Crack bat roller. Carlos over. Tossing to Keuchel. Well coordinated for out number 2. It'll be Hanahan next. Hanahan walked, and then he was thrown out trying to steal in the 3rd inning. Jack, 32 years old, from St. Paul, Minnesota. And he went to the University of Minnesota. 3rd-round pick of Detroit in 01. Then he played for Oakland, Seattle, Boston.
Went to the same high school as Joe Mauer, to Cretin Durham or whatever it's called up there.
Okay.
St. Paul. He was a 3-sport star in high school. Basketball, football player as well as baseball.
He spent 10 years in the minor leagues. Tight.
I think Molitor went to that school too.
Okay. 1 ball, 1 strike. You lived up in that part of the world for a little while when you played for the Twins. Oh, this time of year it's really nice there.
Yeah.
Fly ball. A shortstop Lowry moves back a little bit. Dallas Keuchel pitching very well in his first start at Minute Maid Park. It's 1-0 Cleveland after 4.5.
next week as the Astros take on the San Diego Padres. The Astros will wrap up a 10-game homestand with a 4-game series starting this Monday, June 25th, and ending Thursday, June 28th against San Diego. And to be here for any or all of those games, you can go to Astros.com to get those tickets. Bill, back to you.
Thanks, Bart. The Padres in our first look at them this season, starting Monday night. And as they watch the Astros come up here in the bottom of the 5th inning, they're watching a club that has not had a base runner through the first 4. Brian Bogusevic trying to change that against Gomez. He hit a fly ball to left. This one goes to right center field, and he does change that. He's the first base runner for the Astros, and it's extra bases for Bogusevic with another double. His 7th of the year. That's what he did last night.
He's very effective when he jumps on that first pitch, and he got something to his liking. Official scorer always likes it when the first hit is a nice clean one like this. He has no potential error, no potential controversy.
In the cleanup spot today, he gets the first hit by an Astro, and he's aboard for Chris Johnson. Bogusevic seeing some breaking stuff on the first pitch of the count. Johnson struck out looking in the 2nd. Castro's on deck. CJ trying to move Bogey, and this was a central point last night in the 7th inning. Bogusevic led off with a double, and the Astros were unable to advance him in their 2-0 loss. At the time they trailed 1-0. This time it's a bunt, but it's off his foot. Foul ball.
CJ up there doing whatever he can to advance him. Not been asked to bunt much in his career, I'm sure. His technique looks good. Brian Bogusevic came into this game hitting .417 when he puts the first pitch in play. He's now 16 out of 38 in these situations when he attacks that first pitch.
Last 3 games, the Astros are 2 for 25 with runners in scoring position. Nice line to the left field corner, and that makes it a 1-1 game. Chris Johnson heads for second. Back-to-back doubles. 28 runs batted in for CJ. That's his 13th double.
That's way better than a bunt. Fastball moving in on him, and he just clears the hips, rifles it into the left field corner. Everybody in that dugout can breathe a sigh of relief, relax a little bit. All right, a couple of knocks, we're on the board.
Now Castro. Grounded out to shortstop. He goes for one, puts it in the air near the left field line, and that will be dropping and bouncing into the stands. J.D. Martinez on deck as the Astros hope this is a big inning. The way Keuchel has pitched, they can explode here with a nice inning, and built a little pad for Keuchel. That allow him to pitch just an outstanding game today. He's certainly done well so far. The Indians led the Boston Red Sox 3-1 in the 2007 American League Championship Series, but failed to close it out. They lost in 7, and they've been on a downward trend ever since then. 1 ball, 1 strike. In 2008, they were 81-81. In 2009, they lost 97 games, and last year they lost 93. It's been a resurgent year for them so far, though. Last year they got off to a 30-15 start, but finished 80-82.
Yeah, they thought they had a chance last year. That's why they made the big deal for Ubaldo Jimenez, and I'll be curious to see how they proceed this year. I don't know what their farm system looks like or how close they feel like they are to actually winning this division. That may sound a little silly to say because they're in first place right now, but we talked about in last night's game, not all first place clubs are equal, and this club is a bit of a house of cards right now when you look a little bit deeper into the numbers.
2-2. Yeah, you pointed out they had been outscored by a pretty good margin.
Been outscored by 39 runs. It's the second worst mark in the American League. Only the Minnesota Twins have a worse run differential.
Interesting.
Now check that. The Royals as well. It's 29 runs for the Indians, but only 2 other teams in the entire American League have been outscored by more than Cleveland. So they're in first place, but that's something that Chris Antonetti's going to have to deal with moving forward. Do you give up prospects to make a deal because you think you have a legitimate chance? Or do you risk incurring the wrath of your fans and not making a deal because you know in your heart of hearts that you're not ready to win yet?
Well, one guy who's hitting well in the minor leagues is Matt Laporta. He was with the Indians last year. In fact, he's been with them the last 3 years. He's had more than 300 at-bats each year. Fly ball out to left center field. Brantley, with the runner Johnson tagging, will throw to third and keep him at second base. Brantley got in good position to make that throw. 1 out. Got his body behind it. We go to Bart now.
Thanks, Bill. Astros fans, Chevy is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or go to hometownkids.tv for more information.
Good kid right there. J.D. Martinez grounded back to the pitcher in the 3rd inning after working the count full. That's strike 1 to him. Colorado is pounding Texas 11-1 in Arlington. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Josh Outman is the starter for Colorado. He's gone 4 2/3. He's thrown 89 pitches in the 4-man rotation for Jim Tracy. So he's pushing his limit, but not in a position yet to be the winning pitcher. And we'll get an update on that to see if he's completed.
What's the limit?
He's about at it right now.
Why, as Jim said, he's going to hold him to a strict pitch limit?
Yeah, about 85. Something like that. So he's past it. But then you get into that, well, we'd like to give him a win.
I can't think that way. That's what's gotten managers into trouble with closers. Every time there's a potential save, they bring the closer into the game because of the statistic.
Yes. Okay, we're looking at this. He came out after 4 2/3 innings. He wound up allowing 8 hits and 5 runs, and the reliever hasn't gotten anybody out yet. In the air, Martinez to left field, and that will give the Astros the lead. J.D. Martinez with number 8, and it's 3-1 Houston on a 2-run homer.
Finally, some extra base hits. The Astros been really scuffling offensively. A few singles here and there, but not really driving the ball until this inning. Double home run now. Bogusevic, Chris Johnson, and J.D. Martinez getting it done in the Astros 5th. That had to feel awfully good for J.D. It's been a tough month of June for him. And again, Gomez trying to throw that 2-seamer in. Got it in a little bit, but didn't have much sink. Sinker ballers who elevate tend to give up home runs.
Now 3 extra base hits, and the Astros lead it 3-1. And Schaefer puts one in the air to left. And Damon coming back, and that one reaches the seats. Back-to-back homers. Schaefer getting number 3 of the season, and it's 4-1 Houston. Second time the Astros have hit back-to-back homers. Schaefer now with 17 runs batted in.
And when CJ had that RBI double after Bogusevic stuff, at first he tried to bump, fouled it off, and then he hit the double. I mentioned, I think that's the kind of hit where, okay, we're on the board, and everybody kind of in that dugout relaxes a little bit. They've really been pressing. Now a series of good swings.
April 6th, Lee and Bogusevic pulled off the back-to-back achievement for the first time. That's the 7 and 8 hitters, Martinez and Schaefer. And Keuchel comes up with a 4-1 lead now. Looking at ball 1. It's a 2-ball, no strike count to Keuchel. Gomez now has surrendered 10 home runs this season in 71 innings. That's in for a strike to make it a 2-ball, 1 strike count. 4 extra base hits in the inning. The chop goes foul. Back-to-back doubles, and then 1 out later, back-to-back homers. Maybe the drought is over. It's been tough sledding for the Astros hitters. A little chop goes back to the pitcher, Gomez. And that's out number 2. The Astros were striking out more than any other team in the National League coming into this game today. And they struck out 3 times in the first 3 innings. Didn't get a base runner until this 5th inning, leading off Bogusevic with the double. 41 pitches in the first 4, now 18 in the 5th for Gomez. Altuve looks at strike 1. He is 0 for 2. Joe Morgan had some nice comments about Jose as he joined us on the air last night. Ground ball and backhanded. Oh, he couldn't get a handle. Cabrera knew he had to be quick, and it didn't work out for him. That's a hit for Altuve.
Cabrera trying to make that quick exchange from glove to throwing hand, just comes up empty.
87th hit for Altuve as Mil Rogers is warming up in the bullpen for Manny Acton. So things spiraling downhill very quickly here in the 5th inning for Gomez. He was perfect through 4. Now he's given up 5 hits in this frame. Rogers works. And it's Jed Lowry batting. Lowry 0 for 2. And the Actors pitching staff has a 4.44 ERA. That's next to last in the American League. Derek Lowe will be the starter tomorrow. Runner going with a big jump. Santana's throw right on the bag. Oh, they got him. Boy, it looked like he had that beat. And the slide may have slowed him down quite a bit. But the Astros settled for 4 runs on 5 hits. There's CJ with the RBI double. J.D. Martinez 2-run homer. Schaefer solo shot. 4-1 Houston.
In East Boulevard. They'll be signing autographs on Wednesday from 11 a.m. to noon. While you're there, register to win the ultimate Wada fan experience, which includes autographed memorabilia, sweet tickets, and a chance to throw out the first pitch at an upcoming game. And, of course, get yourself a burger and some fries. Right, guys?
Always. That's JD's favorite food. Altuve actually beat that tag at second from Asdrubal Cabrera, but he was called out.
Yeah, pretty close, but it looked like he was in there just ahead of that tag.
Jerry Davis made the out call, and that's the way the fifth inning ended. But Houston leads it 4-1 as Keuchel goes to work. Throwing strike one to Gomez. So Gomez staying in despite allowing the 4 spot in the fifth inning and having the reliever warm up there at the end of the inning. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Interesting move by Manny Acta.
I was hoping it's just a hiccup, one bad inning for Gomez, who brought a perfect game into that inning.
He loops one out to right center field. Schaefer on the run, and he nailed it.
After trying to get an inning or two more out of his starter to stay out of the middle relief situation in his bullpen, and he almost got the bonus of a leadoff knock.
Sure did.
But Schaefer making a fine play.
Looked like a hit off the bat. Schaefer over to take it away. Nice tumbling catch. 1 out. Keuchel, the type of pitcher who allows a lot of balls to be put in play and let the defenders go to work. Chu is the batter. He's 0 for 2. Pops that one to Carlos Lee. 2 hopper. 2 outs quickly here in the 6th inning. Keuchel is really regrouped after the Cabrera home run, retiring the next 8 now. The homer by Schaefer a few minutes ago in the bottom of the 5th was his first in 154 at bats since the 22nd of April. 64 pitches for Keuchel. Cabrera hit one of those pitches out to left center field for his 9th homer after grounding out his first time up. Once again, very good numbers for Dallas. And it's strike one. It's going to be interesting because Bud Norris is slated to throw between 75 and 85 pitches tonight. If all goes well for him at Oklahoma City, he will be deemed ready to return to the Astros starting rotation. Oh, 0-2. Keuchel has gotten these 2 starts and a chance to impress the brass.
What a 6-man rotation. Let them all pitch. It's a year of discovery anyway.
Yeah. 1-2. Well, this is June 23rd. When do you think the trading activity will start in earnest, JD?
Well, before the end of the day, Kevin Youkilis will be gone.
Really?
It's my prediction.
Well, there have been rumors.
White Sox.
Okay. Lowry over the ball, took a bad hop on him. He throws and makes a good adjustment to make it 9 straight. Retired by Keuchel and friends, and a 4-1 Astros lead. stretchy center fielder coming over to take a hit away from Gomez. A tumbling catch in right center field in the top of the 6th inning.
Down number 1 of a very quick 1-2-3 6th inning for Dallas Keuchel, and the Astros batters right back at it now. Here in the bottom half of the 6th, trying to play add-on.
Jed Lowry is 0 for 2. Looking at ball 1. To be followed by Lee and Bogusevic. Astros sent 7 batters to the plate in the 5th inning.
That Orioles release of Jamie Moyer that you mentioned earlier was at his request. He had signed a deal with Baltimore, and he promised to make 3 starts for them in the minor leagues, after which time they would either have to call him up or let him go. They weren't ready to call him up. They offered to keep him for 1 more, and he said, no, I'll move along. He was 1-1 with a .169 ERA, so maybe he's got an offer somewhere else.
Maybe. 2 balls and a strike. A lot of pitchers have been going down. The Toronto Blue Jays are probably interested, right?
I would think.
They've lost 3 starters to injuries. Pittsburgh continues to play strong baseball, leading Detroit 3-0, bottom of the 5th at PNC Park. Brad Lincoln on the mound, a no-hitter through 5. And Max Scherzer is on the wrong end of that one so far. Andrew McCutchen hit his 13th home run. That was a 3-run shot off Scherzer in the 4th inning.
He makes my top 5 players in the National League.
Does he?
McCutchen.
Yeah, he's such an athletic guy.
He's hitting 330 something. He hits for power, steals bases, tremendous outfielder.
Oh, he is. I didn't realize that. I'm looking at the box score. He's hitting 347 now.
Yeah.
That is quite a year. Got to be an all-star, right?
Oh, yeah. Kemp, McCutchen, Braun. Who else would make our top 5? Or my top 5? I don't want to put words in your mouth. You can
Carlos
make your own top
Beltran,
5.
maybe?
Maybe Beltran. Can't give it to Melky Cabrera, even though he's having a great year.
No.
Joey Votto. Votto's got to be there.
Yeah. 3-2 to Lowry. He works a leadoff walk. That's number 1 of the game for Gomez. Happy birthday, JD. They're already out there prepared to celebrate right now for you, JD.
Yeah, every time JD goes deep, I just, I get a little extra love.
Yes, you do.
Well, David Wright. You might want to consider David Wright for that.
Okay.
Cargo.
What's he hitting, about 340 something?
David Wright is hitting 361.
Ooh.
A couple points behind Joey Votto, who leads the league at 363.
Carlos Lee 0 for 2. Smacks the liner over shortstop into left center field. Lowry's turning. He's going to be able to score on this to make it 5-1. Lee into second base with another Astro double. 10th double of the year for El Caballo. That's his 26th run batted in, scoring Lowry.
Maniac hope to get a little more out of the starting pitcher, let him bat. And now the Astros make him pay with a leadoff walk RBI double to start the 6th.
Lowry came home easily on this one, the 3rd double for the Astros in this game. Boy, does this game go against the grain for them. They have 6 hits. 5 have been for extra bases. 10 doubles for Lee, and now we'll get a pitching change. It would appear Scott Radinsky, though, is taking his time, so maybe not. Maybe this is a buy time visit. And then he goes back and the manager comes out. Bogusevic will be the next batter.
Yeah, they had a righty up, and they've just had a left-hander join out there in the bullpen. Sip, I think, is up.
And Tony Sip, they're buying Tony Sip some time. Get ready for Bogusevic, it would appear anyway.
Tony Sip not with any real sense of urgency, though, as he loosens out there. So the dugout may have one opinion of how this is going to play out, and the bullpen has something else in mind.
Maybe the dugout wants a gulp and Tony wants a sip. Just not the same pace.
Well, it's really been a remarkable day for Gomez. Through 4 innings, he was in complete control of this game. Since then, the Astros have abused him.
Sure have. Talk about a turnaround. There weren't many balls hit well through those first 4 innings. No base runners for Brad Mills. And then back-to-back doubles, 1 out later, back-to-back homers, and an infield hit later, and a caught stealing that shouldn't have been. Now Bogusevic is 1 for 2, a double. Looking at ball 1.
Maybe a case of Gomez not really being able to establish the third pitch. You know, he's had a good sinker, a halfway decent changeup, but hasn't been all that sharp with any kind of a breaking ball, and he was so precise with that fastball early. He started to catch a little too much of the plate.
That's a liner out to center field. Caught by Bradley. And the runners freeze. Carlos for out number 1. Pretty well hit ball by Bogey.
Sometimes when you're having a good day on the mound, you can get a little lazy mentally. You know, you're clipping away, you're working corners, you're keeping the ball down around the knees, everything's going your way, and you just start to feel like it's your day. And I'm just going to keep attacking the strike zone. But when you have this kind of stuff and it's not overpowering and you start to catch too much of the plate and it's up a little bit, you're in for a rude awakening.
Chris Johnson got the tying run home with a double after failing to get a bunt down. Puts this one in the air, and Brantley goes over to right center for it. Carlos tagging. He will go to third. Brantley will just toss it into second base. 2 outs. And it'll be Jason Castro batting, but not against Gomez. Maniacta has come out. So Sip had time because it wasn't Bogusevic he was targeting. It was Castro. And now it will be lefty on lefty as Maniacta takes the ball from Gomez. With the score 5-1 Houston. Back in a moment.
Greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 p.m. Central on Fox. Indians making a pitching change. Brownie, let's get the particulars.
Left-hander Tony Sip. They don't really care that much about who's
married
pitching
out there.
Yeah. Generic pitcher to them. They're just having a whole lot of fun at a wedding. And Tony Sip is 0-2 with a 6.95 ERA, JD.
If you turn to your left and I'm not here, it's because I'm not doing the hokey pokey.
Oh, well, on your birthday, you should join that.
Wedding, man. You got to do the hokey pokey.
I know it. One dance that will never die, JD.
Hard to believe, too.
It is.
Tony Sip is a fastball slider, an occasional changeup guy, more of a fly ball type pitcher. Fastball around 90, 91 miles an hour. Fox Tracks, brought to you by ChooseNissan.com, is going to let you know where it goes.
Strike 1 to Castro. He's 0 for 2. Sip has struggled against right-handed batters. Against lefty, 196, and Jason Castro 129 against lefties. So Maniacta is figuring on having the upper hand here in this matchup. And Sip, though, has allowed runs in 11 of his 27 appearances this year. And it's this downside of the bullpen when they're trailing in games that has hurt the Tribe this year. Side we saw last night, very good. A lot of clubs are like that, but if you want to win your division, you're going to probably have to have better production than that out of the guys you don't use when you're leading, because you want to come back and win some games, and the bullpen's going to have to hold the other team close when trailing to do that.
Yeah, I think it's vital to have a deep bullpen, have a good blend of lefties and righties, and yeah, you want those guys that can keep you in games even though you're down 2-3 runs. If they can keep it close, you have a fighting chance to come back.
2-1 from Tony Sip, 28 years old, from Pascagoula, Mississippi. He went to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College and then Clemson University. 45th round draft choice in 04. He really comes at the hitter with a lot of motion. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last year he had a 3.03 earned run average, made 69 appearances, had 24 holds. J.D. Martinez on deck. And he's really struggled to get to that point this season. In his last 7 innings, he's given up 8 earned runs. That's strike 3. And it's 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left for the Astros. After 6, they lead it 5-1.
Is brought to you by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient, affordable, stylish, and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. The Astros offensive explosion, a big story tonight, but so is the work of Dallas Keuchel on the mound. Going to the 7th, he's got a 5-1 lead, and he's acting like minor leagues. What were they? Back to the guys in the booth.
Well, he's shown that good knowledge of pitching, J.D., in this start and the last one. It's going to be interesting to see what his career does from this point forward.
He certainly looks like a big league pitcher, the way he performed his last 2 times out. And granted, it's just 2 starts, but he was solid in Arlington. He's been outstanding here today.
Kipnis leads it off in the 7th. He's 1 for 2. Strike 1 for Keuchel. He's retired 9 in a row after the Asdrubal Cabrera homer, leading off the 4th. Fouled out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. Colorado 11, Texas 7. They've played 6 in Arlington. Nieves and Fowler have gone deep for the Rockies. Nelson Cruz has hit a couple for the Rangers, giving him 11. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Atlanta plays at Boston tonight. Fouled off his foot.
With or without Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah. Oh, that's off the knee. Apparently, according to one headline, Youkilis said there have been no discussions about his playing time. But I haven't seen his name in the box score as frequently, of course, lately.
I think he's had 2 or 3 days off in a row, and I believe I saw a piece that said he was not in the lineup again today.
But that's a hefty salary to pick up if the club is interested in trading for him. White Sox would be a good candidate. Arizona has been mentioned. Punched on a line toward the left field corner. J.D. Martinez going back to backhand the ball, making a strong throw to second. What a play. And a throw back to first, but he beats it. Kipnis gets back. Held to a single by the aggressive play of J.D. Martinez.
Well, there was a whole lot of good going on there and a little bit of bad. A good swing of the bat by Kipnis, staying back on that breaking ball. He's got 2 hits today off the left-hander. Great job there. And then J.D. Martinez hustling over to cut it off. And watch Kipnis now, because he's thinking too as he rounds first base. But a complete blowout. That's the bad part. Probably good for him that he stumbled, because I think he would have been out at second base had he continued on.
True. Jose Lopez is the batter. He's 0 for 2, 2 ground outs. I think it was Ken Caminetti, the first I can remember, who pioneered that technique of rounding the bag aggressively, and then when he saw he couldn't make it to the next base, he would slide even if it was halfway between first and second. So that's kind of the head first version of that, but it was a stumble. But I like the technique because it gave him every chance to take that extra base, and then when he saw he couldn't make it, he had to get back quickly.
Yeah.
He went further toward the next base than most runners do, but he could get back with that slide technique.
Do a little pop-up slide. Save him a step or two that it would take to break down to stop and change directions.
He sure did. Chopper goes foul. It's 2 balls and a strike to Lopez.
It's the anniversary of one of the greatest days in baseball history.
What was it?
The Owlman, Rick Wise, in 1971 threw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs in the same game.
Yes. He was pitching for the Phillies at the time. Who was the opponent?
The Reds.
Right.
Got Pete Rose for the last out.
That had to be sweet.
Bruce, would you please respond to that sign and say hi back? But that poor fellow's going to have tired arms.
Kipnis was breaking on the pitch. Lopez fouled it, and it's 2-2.
This is also the anniversary of the ending of the longest game in professional baseball history between Pawtucket and Rochester.
Oh, yeah.
They played 32 innings before the game was finally suspended on April 19th of 1981. 8 hours plus of play. And then 1 inning, 18 minutes to finish the game on this date in 1981.
18 minutes.
Yep.
After that long away.
Yeah, with all kinds of it was during the strike, so there's all kinds of national and international media in Pawtucket for it.
Wade Boggs was in that game. Is that
Wade
correct?
Boggs, Cal Ripken Jr., Bobby Ojeda was the winning pitcher. Marty Barrett scored the winning run on his birthday.
He probably pulled off the hidden ball trick.
Yeah. It was, and the game was allowed to be played initially because when they printed up the bylaws, the league constitution, every year they put a thing in no inning could start before or after 12:50 in the morning. And for whatever reason that year it did not get put into the rules.
Oh.
So the umpires just let him play all night.
Altuve to Lowry, and he gets out of the way of the sliding Kipnis. That's out number 1. Lopez reaching.
Harold Cooper was the commissioner of the International League, and one of the general managers of the Pawtucket team tried to call him a couple of times during the night. It was the night before Easter, and Harold's wife said, no, he's not home, and that was just a Cody because he got calls late at night all the time. And so finally Harold said, I better call, and it was like 4 in the morning, and Harold, they had the third base umpire come over to the dugout. Harold said, you need to stop this game. People were calling hospitals because they thought loved ones had been in accidents. You know?
Oh, man. Michael Brantley's 1 for 2. They couldn't be playing baseball now.
4 o'clock in the morning.
That's high, and it's the shallow center field. Schaefer moving in. 2 outs. It'll be Santana next.
Well, Dallas Keuchel is making it look easy. He's made 80 pitches. He's in complete command. And the question now becomes, how long does Brad Mills let him go? Due up third in the bottom half of the 7th.
He threw 80 in the 3rd innings for Oklahoma City this year. Had 2 complete games. And good numbers there. 4-1 in April. Santana the batter. Taking ball 1. He's 0 for 2 with a double play ball and a strikeout.
Keuchel's one of those guys, you just have to keep promoting him and find out what he can do at each level, because there's nothing about his stuff that makes you, oh my goodness, this guy's just going to blow you away. He doesn't light up the radar gun, but he knows how to pitch.
He really does. Foul ball, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. You know, we talk all the time in June about first-round draft choices. Here's a 7th-round pick. Good college program at Arkansas. 2 balls and a strike. Phillies lead Tampa Bay in Philadelphia 5-3. They played 4. Juan Pierre hit his first. Jimmy Rollins number 6. You see Vice President Joe Biden talking about Jimmy Rollins a few days ago.
I did not.
I think he was at the White House or the Vice President's executive office. Not sure where it was. He was honoring him. 1 hopper. Chris Johnson taking care of out number 3. No runs, a hit, a man stranded. It's 5-1 Astros in the 7th. Miller Lite, back-to-back homers for the Astros. J.D. Martinez, a 2-run shot in the 5th inning. And then on the very next pitch, Schaefer goes to left field. That's the first time the Astros have hit back-to-back homers since very early this season. Back on April 6th against Colorado in that first series. Meanwhile, the wedding celebration continues. And they're having a great time out there. Where are they exactly? Do we know?
Well, they're by the frozen drinks.
Okay.
There's Helen.
Helen Brown came over from Austin, Texas. And she brought her visor.
Helen, the longtime flight service coordinator in the Astros charters.
And she's sitting next to Heather Waters. We haven't seen her in a while. J.D. Martinez with the Astros up 5-1. Bats in the home 7th inning. He hit that 2-run homer in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. Here's ball 1. Tony Sipp came in for Gomez. Gomez went 5 2/3 innings. He allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, walking 1, fanning 3. Sipp's fastball misses outside. He got Castro on a called 3rd strike to end the 6th inning. Schaefer on deck. Keuchel due up 3rd in the inning. We do see somebody up in the Astros bullpen out there. Nobody throwing at the moment. Might be the bullpen coach Craig Bjornson. We'll check it out. Righties are hitting .357 against Tony Sipp. And that's a strike to make it 3-1. No action in the bullpen. So apparently Keuchel will bat and very efficient. JD pops it up. Lopez over. 1 out for Sipp. The Astros trailed at 1-0. They did not have a base runner until the bottom of the 5th inning. Here we are, Cleveland and Houston, game 2 of a 3-game interleague series. And then it exploded. Bill Brown, Jim Deshaies, Greg Lucas, Art Ennis. We watched that explosion in the 5th. The Astros getting 4 runs in that frame. They had back-to-back doubles by Bogusevic and Johnson. They had a 2-run homer by J.D. Martinez, and then back-to-back homers as Schaefer chimed in.
Good poker hand. 2 pair home runs over doubles. He usually gets it done.
Schaefer had grounded out earlier. That makes Jordan 1 for 2. Big cut there, and it's strike 1. He looked like he thought he'd get a first pitch fastball, and he did. Tony Sipp misses. That's ball 1. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike with Dallas Keuchel on deck.
This is also the anniversary of the Ernie Shore game.
Oh, that was a great one.
1917. Babe Ruth pitching against Washington walks the leadoff man. And throughout the at bat, he's barking at the home plate umpire. And on ball 4, he punches the umpire in the jaw. Is ejected. Ernie Shore comes in. Foster, the base runner who had walked, is caught stealing, and then Shore retired 26 men in a row to finish it off. About the Babe punching the home plate umpire. You know you're the king of baseball when you get away with that.
I know you are. It's tough to get an angle for a photo shoot sometimes. It's 2-2. You ever seen a wedding party at a baseball game before, JD?
You know, we've had weddings out here before. At least on one other occasion, I remember.
Okay. Three balls, 2 strikes. So a lot of excitement out there. And tomorrow, we're going to see those Santa Clauses again. The guys we saw several weeks ago.
Oh yeah, the Lone Star Santas, I think they're called.
That's it. They'll be here tomorrow. Grounder, and there's the play by Lopez. to take care of out number 2. Yeah, they're coming back tomorrow to raise contributions for their convoy of toys for children of disasters. And there might be up to 50 Santas and Mrs. Clauses and elves tomorrow.
Wow. Be a good day to come to the park.
They'll be taking pictures at Union Station if you happen to pass by there and you want a Santa photo in June. Dallas Keuchel's the batter. He's 0 for 2. Well, sometimes you get caught between, this time of year. It's hard to find that. So you could save it. Maybe rushing around for Christmas. Might not have time to do it then. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, well, and these guys are, they're legit. They got the look.
They sure do. We saw about 3 of them in one row. And we just didn't have any idea what that was all about. And then we got a note from them after showing them on TV. Strikeout, and that ends it for Sip. And after 7, the Astros lead it over the Indians 5-1. Play. We take a look at the work of Dallas Keuchel. Boy, he's been fun to watch today.
Keuchel's doing an outstanding job here this afternoon. We've got 3 punch outs, but it's been mostly the ground ball. That's been his big weapon, the sinker changeup combination. We wondered coming into this game how his stuff would play against all the left-handed hitters in the Indian lineup, and so far he's been able to shut them down. The only run he's allowed, the solo home run by Asdrubal Cabrera, a switch hitter batting from the right side. That was in the 4th. 7 very good innings, efficient innings with just 84 pitches from Dallas. And there you see the breakdown: 12 ground ball outs, 5 in the air, 3 punch outs.
He was able to hang in while his club figured out Gomez, who was perfect through 4. Keuchel giving up a leadoff homer in the 4th inning to Asdrubal Cabrera, trailing only 1-0 until his offense could get that big 4 spot on the board in the 5th. Now we move to the 8th inning, and it's Damon and Hanahan, and then the pitcher spot. And there is bullpen action, and any active will be ready, of course, to pinch hit for the pitcher. Damon flied to left, and he grounded to first. So the Astros have their lefties now stacked in the rotation. 3 of them. There's strike 1 to Johnny Damon. Pretty unusual these days. With Keuchel, Happ, and Wandy Rodriguez. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Wainwright and St. Louis beat Kansas City and Mendoza 8-2 in Kansas City. In the air to right field. Bogusevic, 1 out. Bart
Thanks, Bill. Voting is now open for the 2012 All-Star Game in Kansas City. Don't miss your chance to help send Jose Altuve and Jed Lowry to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at astros.com/vote. Go to that site, vote early, and vote often. Once again, astros.com/vote. Back to you guys.
That would be great to see Jose and Jed Lowry headed that way. Hanahan has walked in. He's popped a short. And strike one.
He's been able to drop that first pitch breaking ball in there with regularity here this afternoon.
Shelley Duncan's on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher Sip. That's a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes.
You don't have need of a chicken, do you?
Yes.
Mets are trying to get rid of a chicken.
Okay. Can you give me more particulars on that?
Frankie Francisco, their relief pitcher, apparently before this Mets-Yankees series, he called the Yankees chickens. I'm not sure all the backstory of it there, but obviously it's going to get a lot of play in New York. So our buddy Burdak, being Burdak, went down to Chinatown with $8 in his pocket and bought a live chicken and brought it back to the Mets clubhouse. And they had it running around in the clubhouse before the game. And now he doesn't know what to do with it. Trying to find a sanctuary for the chicken because it was a good one-day prank or had to have some fun, but now he's saddled with his chicken.
Well,
they call it Little Jerry Seinfeld.
Groundball to Lee. That's out number 2.
And apparently the chef there at Citi Field prepared a meal not of the chicken but for the chicken. She did some research and found out what a chicken likes to eat.
What does a chicken like to eat?
Well, let me see here if I can pull this story up.
Okay. Shelley Duncan, meanwhile, is pinch hitting. 195 for Shelley, 4 homers, 12 runs batted in. He's had 128 at bats. He's 1 for 5 pinch hitting. And there's strike one. And played some left field earlier this year before Johnny Damon signed.
Oatmeal, berries, and bread is what the chef fed this particular chicken.
Very, very healthy diet. The shift is on for Duncan. Duncan pops it up. That's not where they're shifted. Bogusevic coming over near the line and right. And it's a 1-2-3-8. And it's 5-1. And what a game for Dallas Keuchel so far. Tomorrow afternoon's game presented by Chevron. There's one of them, Jay Happ. He is 5-7 with a 5.15 ERA. His mount opponent is Derek Lowe, the longtime right-hander, 7-5 with a 4.30 earned run average. Wandy Rodriguez is the only Astros starter to go 8 innings before Dallas Keuchel today.
Might as well go 9.
Why not? And that's the longest outing for an Astro this season.
No complete games. Here's Jeremy Accardo, veteran right-hander, working for the 14th time. No wins, no losses, a 3.06 ERA. Strikeout walk numbers are solid. He's been a Giant, a Jay. Last year he was an Oriole. Got tired of being a Bird, so he joined the Indians. He's got a 2 and a 4-seam fastball, cutter, and a split finger pitch.
Altuve is 1 for 3. He got an infield hit in the 5th inning. 6 hits for the Astros, 4 for the Indians. Ricardo delivers ball 1. Sip retired all 4 men he faced and struck out 2 of them. Ricardo did have a 2.13 ERA until June 12th when he gave up 3 earned runs to Cincinnati. And there's a shot to left field. Altuve has reached the seats. Home run number 5. Another multi-hit game for Jose Altuve, and it's 6-1 Astros.
Last time it was an infield hit for Altuve. Ground ball to short that he turned into a knock. Then he was caught stealing. So he says, enough of that nonsense. I'm not going to trust the umpire on the bases. I'm just going to hit one into the seats. Pitch drifting in towards him. That short, compact stroke. Delivering plenty of power to get that one about 10 rows deep.
They're in a good spot.
That would make a nice wedding present.
Oh, yes. 3 home runs for the Astros in this game. Martinez, Schaefer, now Altuve gets his 23rd run batted in. His 30th multi-hit game. Jed Lowry follows. Here's ball 1. Lowry's 0 for 2 with a walk. He scored a run on Carlos Lee's double. 6 runs on 7 hits for the Astros. And there's nobody warming up. So Keuchel will have a chance for the first complete game for the Astros this season. 2 balls, no strikes.
Second major league start. He's got a chance to finish one.
Keuchel had 2 complete games at Oklahoma City. And the way he's pitched, why not make this number 3 of the year? To left field, Lowry. Damon backing off the wall, plays the carom, bare hands, fires into second. Lowry sliding, just beat it. Double for Lowry, 13th of the year. Well played by Damon, but Lowry just beat the throw.
Yeah, well played, and a little bit better arm than I expected to see from Johnny Damon. He made it close. And another extra base hit for the Astros. This is a split finger pitch that just tumbled, didn't have a whole lot of downward action on it.
Oh, was that close?
It sure was.
Could have gone either way. Safe call from Jerry Davis. 13th double for Lowry, tied for second on the club. And the Astros have 4 doubles and 3 homers. Of their 8 hits, 7 for extra bases. Carlos Lee has 1 of those, an RBI double. He looks at ball 1. Now this Indians bullpen has really been quite different. The guys who pitched last night have been very good. Smith, Pestano, and Perez. And it's the other guys who've dragged the ERA down quite a bit. So opponents have a pretty good chance to pile on when the Indians are trailing. 2 balls, no strikes, but very tough to beat the Indians when they have the lead after 6. 7 extra base hits today, a new season high for the Astros.
And that probably goes a long way to explaining how the Indians are first place club despite that negative run differential.
Boy, it really does, doesn't it?
Like this, they just can't stay in. They get away from them, but when they have a lead, they're able to shut it down.
Well, they're 12-2 in 1-run games. Bogusevic on deck. It's 3-1. Altuve leading off, has 2 hits. Lowry batting second, has been on base twice. Lee hitting third, an RBI double. What lineup will we see tomorrow against Derek Lowe?
Redemptive day here for the Astros hitters. 1 through 5 in the order last night. Collectively 0 for 17.
3-2 to Lee.
Ricardo able to catch the outside edge.
Carlos with a shot to left field, sends Damon deep. That's over his head and bangs off the support. And here's another run coming home. Throw into second. That's an RBI double for Lee. 7-1 Astros. Lee with his second run producing double, scoring Lowry. That's 27 runs batted in for El Caballo. That was close at second as he chose not to slide.
Ricardo got the call on the previous fastball. Now probably wishes he hadn't. Kept the at-bat alive, and Carlos jumped all over that high heater. Make mine a double, Lloyd.
Two runs scored for Lowry in this game. The guys at the top. It was a top-loaded lineup with on-base averages, and that's paid off today for Brad Mills. Homer double in this inning. Now it's Bogusevic looking at strike one. Ryan became the first Astro base runner today. 12 straight were retired by Genmar Gomez until he stepped up to lead off the home fifth and double to right center. That got it started toward a 4-run inning. 1-1. Washington is at Baltimore tonight. It'll be Edwin Jackson against Wei-Yin Chen. Good beltway matchup of two excellent teams. Fouled away, and it's 1-2. Mets take on the Chickens at 6:15 Eastern tonight. That'll be Nova and Chris Young. Tim Lincecum gave up 3 runs in 6 innings last night. Got a no decision for the Giants, but that was quite a bit better than he had been pitching. Ground ball to second. Kipnis takes care of out number 1. Lead at third base. Apparently the Giants weren't really addressing it publicly, but they had thought about skipping Lincecum's turn because of an off day the next time through the rotation. Lee at third base, 1 out, and it's Chris Johnson who had the RBI double in the 5th to make it 1-1. He's 1 for 3. Milwaukee plays the White Sox at Chicago tonight. That'll be Wolf and Axelrod in that matchup. Today Cincinnati leads Minnesota 5-0, bottom of the 7th inning. Brandon Phillips hit his 10th. Ball 1 to Johnson.
Well, Johnny Cueto again dealing up another one. 7 shutout innings for Cueto. Got a 2.21 ERA. Looking for his 9th win.
He's a solid all-star pick then. 2 balls, no strikes.
It'll be a tough call for Tony La Russa to put that all-star pitching staff together. There's so many pitchers having big years.
Yeah. A lot of guys with numbers that are compelling right now. Cueto's fan 9 in 7 innings. Johnson looks at ball 3. It's 3 balls, no strikes to CJ.
There are 18 pitchers, starting pitchers in the National League with ERAs of 3 or lower.
Good grief. Somebody's turned the clock back to 1968 on us. There's a shot to right center field. Headed for the Astros bullpen. And Chris Johnson bangs one off the wall to make it 8-1, scoring Lee another RBI double. His second of the day. 14 doubles for CJ, 29 runs batted in.
Just a remarkable day at the ballpark. It just goes to show you, you never know what you're going to get when you come to the yard. Perfect game for Gomez through 4 innings, and not just a bunch of hits, but all these extra bases. You could probably flip through your scorebook. You have to go back about a week's worth of games to find this many extra base hits altogether, let alone in one ball game.
Right. Scott Radinsky out after the 6th double by an Astro today. 2 for Johnson, 2 for Lee among the 6. And it's an 8-1 lead. They've out hit the Tribe 10-4. Only hoping it can continue for a while now after the drought.
This is what that Tribe team of my era used to do to you with Tomei and Ramirez and Baerga and Albert Bell and all those guys. They just pummel you.
Yeah, they did. They piled on. That's what good hitting teams do. There's been a homer and 3 doubles in this inning. In the 5th inning, there were 2 doubles and 2 homers. Jason Castro's 0 for 3. He's the only Astros starter other than the pitcher Keuchel not to have a hit. But he's caught a fine game. He's ball 1. The last Astro rookie to throw a complete game was Taylor Buchholz in 2006 against Texas. Two balls, no strikes.
Ricardo trying to get Castro to offer at that splitter out of the zone. Jason able to lay off, and we'll see now if he bought himself a fastball. A good low middle in heater. He might end up with a double of his own.
He's at 324 his last 11. This one goes to shortstop. Cabrera with the out. Johnson to third, 2 down in the inning. And now J.D. Martinez, who was not in the original starting lineup. Justin Maxwell was, rather. And Justin was pulled from the game, from the lineup, apparently because of an ankle problem that's been with him most of the season. J.D. with a 2-run homer in the 5th is 1 for 3. But Justin Maxwell will be making a postgame appearance at the concert. There's ball 1. Colorado 11, Texas 7, bottom of the 9th in Arlington. And the closer's in, Rafael Betancourt for Jim Tracy. It's a 1-1 count. You know, some people are saying, well, okay, Jim Tracy's going with a 4-man rotation. And he's limiting his starters to maybe 80 pitches per start because they have only 3 days rest instead of 4. But they've got the lefty they traded for from the Indians in the minor leagues with great numbers. Why not just bring him up? Bouncer back to the mound. Ricardo takes care of out number 3. And the Astros get 3 runs on 4 hits and leave a man in the 8th inning. They take an 8-1 lead to the 9th.
Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Let's go back upstairs to Brownie and JD.
Thank you, Greg. It is 8-1, and Dallas Keuchel trying to go the distance for the first time for an Astro pitcher this season. Keuchel in 8 innings has allowed 1 earned run. Lucas Harrell in 7 innings allowed 1 last night. Jordan Lyles 7 innings 2 runs. Wandy Rodriguez 7 innings 2 runs. Jay Happ 6 innings 2 runs. The last trip through the rotation.
Can't do much better than that. After a tough road trip when the starters did not give you many innings, they've bounced back and pitched very well, and he's given that bullpen a chance to rest up.
93 pitches, 61 have been strikes for Keuchel. And he goes with a curve, and it's strike 1 to Chu, leading off the 9th inning. 13 ground ball outs for Dallas Keuchel. In the air to left field, JD Martinez looks, and it goes over his head off the bullpen wall. Chu into second base with a double to extend his streak to 6 games, and that's his 23rd double. He's the American League leader.
Good looking player.
Yeah.
Shown a willingness in both games of this series to go the other way. This pitch moving down and away from him, a little cut fastball.
'23 two-base hits for Chu. He's aboard for Cabrera. Cabrera has accounted for the only Indian run, a homer in the 4th inning. He also was grounded out twice. There's ball 1 to him. It's 2-0.
Has to be willing just to slot one right over the heart of the plate here to get back in the count. He's got a big lead. Doesn't want to walk Cabrera. Go ahead and take a bigger bite at home plate. Tried to paint.
It's 3-0 now. Keuchel's pitch count high for the season at Oklahoma City was 112 at Omaha May 4th. 110 pitches in another game.
Pretty much low stress here once the Astros had that big inning in the 5th.
He comes in with strike 1. You know, just looking at his starts for Oklahoma City, even though he has 2 complete games, 8 innings has been his high in a start, so they must have been the 7-inning doubleheader type starts, JD, in those 2 complete games.
Unless he got beat.
Well, that's true. 3-2, dazzling.
Yeah, how about that? Cabrera's like, come on, man, it's 8-1. You're throwing me a 3-1 changeup. Dallas would reply, well, if you're willing to swing at it, sure.
Yeah, he did get beat in one of those games on the road with the 8-inning complete game at Omaha, 4-2. So he's never gone 9 this year. Three and 2 to Cabrera. Indians are 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Soft grounder. Keuchel looks the runner back. That's 1 out. What a comeback. A 3-0 count to get him on a soft ground ball.
Cabrera got a little greedy and he threw him back-to-back changeups. Both of them likely would have been ball 4. Swing and miss on one and a little tapper on the next one.
Now it's Kipnis. Kipnis has 2 of the Indians' 5 hits. Into shallow left field. That's a hit in front of Martinez. Stop sign at third base. And it's first and third, one out. Kipnis getting his third hit of the day.
Just a little flare as that ball was in on his knuckles, and he just pushed it out into shallow left field. So even though they've gotten a couple hits here, no indications really that Keuchel's lost his stuff or his command. And Carlos Lee over to have a chat. Nothing going on in the Astros bullpen. One more ground ball, get a double play, and get out of town.
Keuchel with a smile on his face at whatever Carlos said to him. Lopez is 0 for 3, and he has hit the ball on the ground all 3 times. It would be a great way for Dallas to finish this one. Double play ball. A complete game win for his first in the major leagues. That's strike 1. Pittsburgh 4, Detroit 1. They're in the top of the 8th at PNC Park. Miguel Cabrera hit his 15th for Detroit.
You get to this stage of a ball game when you're on your game, and you can almost predict what a hitter's going to do. Talk about being in the zone. A pitcher sometimes will be out there going, I'm going to throw my changeup down and away. He's not going to be able to lay off it. He's going to roll over on it, and I'm going to get myself a ground ball to short.
1-1. Fly ball right field toward the line. Bogasevic got a good jump on it. Over for a running catch, and he will fire into the plate as the runners hold. Wow.
They tried him last night, and it didn't work out. And Chu wisely dropped anchor at third base on this one. Bogasevic not only able to get over there, but slow down and get into a good enough throwing position to make that strong, accurate throw home. And had Chu opted to go, he would not have made it. It would have been rather silly to try down 7 runs.
2 outs, and it's Brantley now. Michael 1 for 3, got an infield hit in the 2nd inning. Dallas Keuchel can really take a load off the bullpen. There's ball 1. The Astros had 4 complete games last year. Looking for their first of this season. Fans have really enjoyed the show put on by Keuchel and his teammates. 2 balls, no strikes. In the air to right field, Bogasevic waiting. First major league win, and it's a complete game win for Dallas Keuchel. And the Astros, behind a barrage of extra base hits, beat the Indians 8-1 to square this series at 1 game each.